Do you have problems spelling? If you want to learn to spell better, there are many different techniques that you can use to make the task at hand easier. Otorhinolaryngology, immunoelectrophoresis, pneumoencephalogram. These are just some of the hardest words to spell. Spelling words can be a bane for some people. There are many among us who have an impeccable grammar and vocabulary, but when it comes to spelling even the simplest of words, they tend to tumble. Which is why it becomes important to learn to spell correctly. There are many methods that you can use in order to ensure that you do not make a mistake, even if you are faced with the hardest word to spell. Spelling a word, the technique. There are many different techniques and spelling games that can be used in order to learn to spell a word. Many of these techniques may seem childlike but are extremely effective and help avoid some of the most common mistakes that people make while spelling words. One of the best techniques to use in order to spell correctly is to use different rhymes in order to keep certain specific rules in mind. Most of these rhymes work universally, but there may be exceptions to the same. For example, the sentence that is used to remember how the alphabets I and E are used together. I before E, except after C, or when followed by G, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor and way. But there are exceptions to this rule in case or words like weird, ether, protein, efficient, etc. Another simple technique is to remember the rule: when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. The rule refers to the fact that when two vowels are placed together, the second one is usually silent. Keep in mind that the addition of a prefix does not, in any way, change the way the primary word is spelled. Another rule that can help spelling become a lot easier is to remember that with singular words that end with a Y, words with a vowel before the Y, the plural is created by adding an S. With words that have a consonant before the Y, the plural is formed by adding Es. There are many other methods that you can use in order to master the spellings of difficult words to spell. Make a list of all those words that you tend to misspell a lot. Once you have made a note of this, it will be a lot easier to avoid the mistake. Many words are spelled exactly like they sound. Of course, in case of words that have silent consonants, this does not remain true. With such words, you will have to rely on understanding exaggerated pronunciations. The better you pronounce words, chances are you will spell them correctly. Some of the most commonly misspelled words in English are homonyms and homophones. These are words that you will need to pay attention to singularly in order to avoid spelling mistakes. An effective way of remembering spellings is to use mnemonics, which will help you recall spellings easily. This can help you in a huge way when you want to spell a word correctly. Another technique that you can use is to split the words into smaller words. Try and identify the words within a word and common prefixes and suffixes, and you will find it much easier to spell words. Also, if you can identify spelling errors in their work, then chances are that you will avoid making the same mistake in your own work. The English language is an extremely complicated one, and even scholars of the language can be sometimes baffled by the weird spelling of a word. Learning to spell correctly is not that difficult, but if you do make a mistake from time to time, remember not to be too harsh on yourself. With the multitude ways in which syllables can be pronounced, it is only human to get confused by spellings.